All right, first episode of Marketplace Addicts podcast. We got Nathan Fosness at Brutal Parts. You can see his logo. I'm pointing at it. It's up above my screen. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing? Glad to
Pretty
be here.
good. We
Doing all right.
yeah, we're staying busy in the shop. Got lots of stuff going. So what you got going on this week? You spending some time on Marketplace?
Yeah, been on Marketplace, in and out, been in the shop, been in and out, just kind of working all angles, just like always.
Right, getting after it. And that's the way it goes, man. This market. I don't know how has it been on your end, like Marketplace? Have y'all been finding good deals
No,
up there? Is it
Marketplace is kind of hit or miss here. A lot of times, some of the things that I'm looking for might not be what a lot of people are looking for with setting up the business, running and operating. I'm looking for more than just machines. I'm looking for supplies. I'm looking for boxes, craft paper, because, shipping supplies are through the roof. Everything's through the roof. So my algorithm, we talk about the algorithm, man, it is all over the place.
That's no joke. Mine's showing me rims. Like I looked at wheels once. I was curious to see if I could find a good deal. And now all it's showing me is wheels. That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
you tap on one thing on accident and then your algorithm's jacked.
Yeah, and you gotta go and look and search and click every listing you can find that says, if it's an ATV or something like that, but don't click too much of the wrong stuff because then that's all it shows you. I used to think it was weird that I would buy stuff and like it would be dirt bike, dirt bike, dirt bike, quad, 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 side by side, side by side. But that's not what it is. It's the marketplace algorithm was feeding me, so that's what I saw.
Yeah.
The good deals on dirt bikes. Then it was, I clicked a couple quads, saw good deals on quads, and now I noticed that. I guess it was a little odd back then. But man, I got some questions. Like, we'll start here. What's the worst buy you've ever had on marketplace?
Man, it's a gold wing. Dude, I bought this gold wing trike back in like 2020 when, everybody had tons of money. Um, the deals were flowing. You could sell anything to anybody. It just wasn't an issue. And I bought this gold wing trike that had a little trailer that went with it. It was like this old man just setup. It was awesome. Not technically a trike, like it had the training wheels that was attached to the Goldwing. Um, and while that was in storage, I just couldn't get to it in time. It ended up getting hit by a dump truck, and now I still have it to this day. It's September 2025. It's sitting in the back lot, and it just makes me mad every time I look at it. I paid 3 grand for this whole thing, sold the trailer for like $400. I got 2,600 bucks just sitting there still today.
Yikes. Man, have you actually ever stripped one of those gold wings?
I have, and there is a lot of parts in
That's
those
a
things, but they are turds.
Yeah, I looked at one and I was as somebody else was stripping it and I was like, man, this looks like a task in itself, but then I didn't realize how many buttons were on that dash up front where you got like I guess the Harleys have that big hood on the front. I don't know what
Yeah.
it's called. But man, there's what 30 or 40 different switches on this Goldwing, and this thing was from the early 90s.
Yep, that's right. So up in that cowl, there's multiple radios. So you have the radio itself, and then there's usually an amplifier, another box, control box that's kind of tied in, and on top of that, there's usually an intercom. All that stuff has its switches and air ride stuff, and it's just there's a lot to them, but man, nobody needs that stuff.
Yeah, I that was my thought is I can't remember the last time I saw someone riding a Goldwing. And that thing, the one I was looking at had a tape deck on it for cassettes. And like
Yes,
when
that's
did they discontinue cassettes? That would have been early 2000s.
maybe like 95, 99, something like that. Nobody
That's
needs
before
that
my
stuff
time. Yeah. I
for
got
sure.
have to bust out the old case with the Walkmans.
That's right. That's right. What's your worst buy? Tell me about it.
My worst buy. It's so many. The first one that comes to mind is I went out and I bought this dude had this quad. It was supposed to, or it might have been two or three quads. And I remember thinking I was getting a great deal because there was all these bins of parts. And I think I paid him 400 or 500 bucks for all this stuff. And this was back when I was still doing parts. This would have been before 2020, probably like 2019. And I thought I was getting the best deal on this. I get it home only to realize those bins had been sitting with water in them for a long time. So, like, all these
Yes.
cams that are supposed to be in there, all these heads that were in there, all these parts that were supposed to be in there, because I didn't look through them. And I was still new, didn't know what I was doing. And
Yes.
all of it was trash. I think I lost money on that. And then the only another one that comes to mind is so Brian hits me up. He's like, "Hey man, I'm over here buying this KLX from this guy." And he sends me a picture. He's like, "He's got this 400 EX right here." And I'm like, "Sweet, what's he want for it?" He's like, $100. I'm like, "Is the motor complete?" He's like, "Yeah, it looks complete." He was buying it in the dark. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt here, okay? He's buying it in the
All right.
dark. And from what I can see, it had a work shock on the front of it. $100, good set of work
Okay.
shocks are worth more than that. He pulls up to the shop the next day, or I get to the shop. He had dropped it off the night before. So I go in there and I look at it. It only had one work shock on it. And the rod went through the bottom of the block, destroyed the whole engine. The, what's it called? The swing arm bolt was seized. So
Yes.
there was no saving. I don't think I even made my money back on that. That's how bad it was. Is $100 400 EX, and I couldn't make my money back. Didn't have wheels on it either.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's
those are
that's bad. That's bad.
those those are the first two that come to mind. And man, at least it was only $100. At this, it was funny to me. Like Brian, you got
Yeah,
to look this stuff over a little bit better. The
dude, for
KLX
real.
he bought too was a turd from the same dude.
Yeah, they kind of keep that kind of stuff around. If they got one raggedy basket, they've got more than one raggedy
Yeah,
basket.
that's
And buying in
usually
the
how it
dark,
goes.
man, you got to be careful about that. We all know. Man, I bought
Man,
this load of stuff out of Charleston. So I'm talking 4.5, 5 hours one way. And, I get there and they've got like 10 totes and it's all sitting outside with no lids on it. Camshafts, engine blocks, differentials. Man, it don't matter. All that stuff was underwater. Like you touch the tote and all these mosquitoes go
trash.
flying out everywhere. Dude, that was terrible.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. And that's how it goes. I mean, so and I've had people try to tell me parts being because I've since then I've went out and bought stuff that oh well all the parts are in this tote. I'm like, well yeah, they're all trash though. They've been sitting there with
Yeah,
water.
right.
And oh no, they're
Yep.
salvageable. Yeah, like if you spend 40 hours a week working on them, get them going
Yeah, if
again.
I want to spend 2 hours on one caliper, no thank you.
Right. It's not even worthwhile. It's worth it just to replace it. And they're
Yep.
non-sellable parts.
Yep. The reason why somebody needs those parts is because theirs look exactly like that. I can't mess with that stuff.
Right. Yeah, theirs is already bad. But man, it's been fun. So, what about sketchy situations, man? What's the sketchiest thing you've been out there
Man,
buying end up in a weird
so
situation?
I was messaging this guy about a dirt bike. And man, dirt bike enthusiasts are always they have strings attached. They're always like their name is like Pookie Got Money or some G Mula crap on Facebook. So I'm talking to this guy. We're about this. I don't remember what it was, like a CR250R. So it's two stroke. It kind of had some issues, but they got the power valves in them. That stuff brings some dough, and it was only like 45 minutes away, 30 minutes away, something like that. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'll go look at it. So he sends me an address. We set up a time, and I get there, and he's not there. Lo and behold, and dude, I'm down in the hood. Um, so I'm messaging him. I'm like, dude, where are you at? We had this set up at this time at this address. Oh well, I'm almost there. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be back in like 15 minutes when he says he gets there. So I come back, the guy's there, and I'm like, all right, where's the bikes at? Like, oh, well, they're not here. They're 30 minutes down the road in another city. I'm like, man, what are you? Why am I meeting you here? Like, well, that's my mama's house. I don't care about that. Like, I thought I was buying these bikes, and so like, I'm like, all right, I'll go to this other house wherever it's out in the boonies. And I don't have the trailer, so if I need to like whip through a yard and dip out, it's a little bit easier. But I was thinking to myself, if this dude tries to take me down some dirt road that looks like it's freaking overgrown in one way, I ain't even going. Like, I don't want nothing to do with this crap. And so we drive like 30 minutes to Elm City. It's out by the coast in North Carolina. And I mean, it's just some country house. They had them around back. I bought the bike, and while I was there, they had another bike. It was a Suzuki RMX something 250 or whatever. Bought that one too. He's like, yeah, that's my homeboy's. I'm like, dude, I'm here. I got cash. Does he want to sell it? Yes or no? Well, I don't know. Well, you better call him because when I leave, I'm not coming back. He calls him, and we struck a deal, loaded him up, and I was out. But that
Easy
thing,
money.
yeah, easy money, but man, that shit was stressful.
Yeah. I hate those situations. I've never had somebody try to drive me 30 minutes away, but like I've had a similar situation. But there was this one time I was in Louisiana. I go to pick up it was either a Prairie 650 or a Brute Force 650. I don't remember. It
Uh-oh.
was 200 or 300 bucks. Sends me this address. It's Barksdale Air Force Base. So I assumed, dang, I hope my ID's gonna work getting me in this place, because
Yeah, it's on the base.
no, evidently it wasn't. I pull up and I'm in the hood. I pull up and the address, there's a house here, there's a house here, and there's the lot in the middle where it's just green grass. There's the address pulls up to that spot. There's no sign of anything to do with four wheelers anywhere. The sun's going down, and I'm like, I waited for like 10 minutes and it starts getting darker, and I was like, I don't think I want to keep waiting here. And I'm starting to notice people staring at me, looking at me and stuff. And it's kind of down there by Shreveport, Louisiana. And he's like, hey, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And I left. And he's like, hey, man, I'm just pulling up. I didn't see anybody pulling up. I just left. I was sketched out, and it takes a lot to sketch me out because I've bought four wheelers where like I had to walk through two different trailer houses out into the back, and then we had to figure out
Oh
how we
yeah,
were gonna get it through.
yeah,
And like there was what was that? It was a YFZ 450R I bought outside of Houston. I can't remember. It's one of those suburbs out there, and we go into this house. Like we go back to the backyard, and we go into this house it ain't been lived in a long time. And there's four wheelers sitting in there, all race quads, nothing special or nice. And this YFZ was pretty rough. They just rebuilt it, and he's like, I haven't even taken it out there to ride it. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at all the RTV that's sitting around the outside of the cylinder head on the head gasket. You don't use
glued
RTV.
together.
It's glued together. And so I proceed to, I'll buy it, bro, for this what we agreed upon. But like, how are you planning on getting this out of here? Like, how did you even get this in here? He was like, yeah, we put it together in here. We had to lift it sideways and carry it out like that, which was no fun. When I stripped it down, like you got the cylinder head and you got all the holes for the coolant jackets and the
Yeah,
cylinder, they mesh together so that it can breathe water through there. Lo and behold, all of it was like filled with RTV. We're not talking like
yeah.
they put a thin coating of RTV on there. It went, I'd say, a quarter inch into each cooling jacket. It's
Dang.
just,
Yeah.
yeah. If I would have fired it up,
Oh yeah. Five
it would
minutes.
not have survived very long. And
Yeah,
not to mention,
5 minutes.
I don't, uh, I don't remember exactly because it's been a while. But if I remember right, the piston wasn't even any good that was in it. Man, it's
Nice.
been a long time. But man, what would you say is your best deal that you've bought on Marketplace
The best
ever?
deal.
Best deal ever.
It's tough to say. I've done so many different things on Marketplace, dude. I've bought couches and turned around and sold them like for another $500. I've bought dining room tables and turned around and sold them. Um, and this is going back to Craigslist too. Um, so over all of the machines that we've done, um, a few that might stand out would be just back in about 2018, 2019, 2020 machines, people were selling their stuff um, for dirt cheap, and they'd still have brand new wheels on them. And we haven't had all of the influx of all the rip off parts. So brute forces did great back then.
Oh
People,
yeah.
they'd run them in the oil. They'd blame Kawasaki. They're like, brutes suck. I'm going to go get a Can-Am. And then they'd sell it for like $500 with freaking $1,500 worth of wheels and tires. So I haven't run into any deals like that lately. Um,
I used to get a lot of those, and have for me when we used to get a lot of them with like 27s, 28s, 30s, and dude, if I put those online, they sold just like that.
instant.
Nowadays,
Yep.
nobody wants the 30s or the 28s or anything like that anymore.
Yeah, dude, we've got multiple sets on the lot right now. And I used to have people fighting each other to buy sets of tires, and I'd be charging, almost new prices, like 70, 80% new price. And people would be like, yeah, I'm on the way. So, well, I got two other people on the way right now. I mean, not two at a time, but you know what I mean? It's just like people um, lining up for tires, and
Mhm.
it just isn't like that anymore. So, um, I tell you, I ended up with here's the deal that really kind of stands out to me, and it actually kind of goes back to the last 2 points. So it was a great deal. I bought two Sea-Doo jet skis for $100 for both of them. So I'm there loading these up. Like one had a motor in it, but it was jacked. All the electronics were there, and then the other one there was no motor, but it still had the electronics. So it was a good buy, especially for $100, $50 a pop. And there was only like 30 minutes down the road. So I'm there loading them up, and they I'm talking to the seller, kind of introducing the business, what we do, kind of the things we're looking for. And they're like, oh, you buy parts? I said, yeah. Well, we've got a bunch of parts in the garage, like scooter stuff. And like we used to have a motorcycle. Would you be interested in that? I'm like, well, sure, let's go take a look. So we walk over to the garage and he starts pulling out like the headlight and seat off of a Yamaha Zuma. It's a fairly popular scooter. If you're going to do anything scooter, like Honda, Yamaha, don't mess around with any of the Chinese stuff. It's junk, but there's still strong followings on those two brands.
Like the
Anyways, I
sprees,
end up with do what?
like the spree.
Yeah, the
That's
Spree
hot,
would
isn't
be
it?
fine. Yeah, it is. It is. Um, so I ended up with like extra headlight, like the whole assembly, the seat, and I was like, look, some of this stuff is big. I'll get it out of here, but I'm not going to even mess with it. I'll haul it out for you. I give $40 for everything, and they were happy as hell. So turned out I ended up selling the seat for like $180. The headlights kind of sold. For about $60 a pop, plus the frame, the headlight frame, the trim, like all kinds of little stuff. We had to ship all that stuff and process it, but that was a pretty sweet deal. And here's the weird part about it. So I'm out there, and this was like July, so it's hot and it's sunny. The sun's beating right on me. I'm not in the shade or anything. Out in the middle of their backyard loading up. They walk outside with a popsicle. It's already out of the wrapper, and they're like, "Hey, do you want a popsicle?" I'm like, "Nah, man. Thanks. I just met you, but I've got water in the truck." Uh, and then that's the lady and her guy, her boyfriend or whoever. He's like, he don't know you. He don't want your popsicle. That's weird.
So one time I'm out buying. I was buying a 420. It was supposed to run. It ended up having a bad crank, so that was not true. Anyway, so I get the quad loaded up, and we're standing around talking, and there must have been, I don't know, 8 to 10 of these dudes, and there's some good old boys here in Oklahoma, not too far from me. And he goes, "Hey man, you want to have some of this? Dang it, what's that called? Where it's like they crawfish boil." I was like, "Nah, dude, I'm good." He's like, "Come on," and it's in a cooler. He's like, "Come on, man, you got to." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, man. Like, I'm not really
Nah, man,
interested in
I'm
eating
good.
some stuff out of some dude's cooler." And he's like, "Come on," and he keeps going, and he starts to like seem like he's getting offended. And dude, I'm weird about my food. I am very weird about my food. So this is very out of character. He hands me a piece of alligator gar, hands it to me, dirty ass fingers and stuff, and I ain't gonna lie, I ate it. That shit was good. That was good. I didn't eat no more. I was like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm really good. Like,
Dude.
I'm like weird about my food too. Like, you, I walk into a restaurant, and if I feel like it's dirty, I will walk back out.
Yeah, it's fine. That's normal.
Yeah. So eating that, like, it was good though. You should have tried the popsicle.
Nah, I'm good. It wasn't even in the wrapper, dude. Like she had already opened it up.
Like
I'm like,
popsicle on a
nah.
stick, or like,
Yeah, a popsicle on a
okay,
stick, dude. And
okay.
she had
I
opened the
just
wrapper up.
automatically assumed, you know, the ones that come in the little tube. My kids, they tear them up, but
Oh
the little plastic
no,
tube, like they had
no,
pulled it out of that and everything, and was trying to hand it to you, and it was all melting in their
no,
hand.
no. It was a popsicle on a stick, but they took it out of the wrapper already. And like, and she didn't even do it like right in front of me. She like walks outside and it's out of the wrapper already. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good, thanks. But I think I'd rather boil out here.
Might have saved yourself from getting roofied by a
Yeah,
popsicle.
no kidding, man.
I don't even know if
That
that's a
ain't
thing, but
no.
it sounds like it could be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. I'll pass on the roofie popsicles, man.
Is that gonna be like your weirdest buy? Like what's your weirdest buy that you
Um,
went out to go?
the weirdest buy that was pretty weird. Um, not gonna lie. Yeah, for sure.
Takes the cake. Takes the cake, man. So what would you say the best deal that you've missed? And I know that's a hard question because like, when you're always on marketplace and you just always scrolling, like you're always trying for those good deals, but like
Yeah.
what comes to mind when you say the best deal that you've missed so far?
All right. This is something that I found out after the fact. So last year, me and a buddy of mine, went to the New England. We went to every single state in New England, um, Virginia, and over into Canada. So we took a truck and trailer through downtown Manhattan and then across I want to say the Rainbow Bridge, into Niagara. We stayed up there and then we started driving around Canada looking for parts. And so I found a guy up there with Skidoo. We call them Skidoo down here, but nobody rides sleds, so we don't really know. They call them Skidoos up there. So
Really, really.
he has sled parts from like a Renegade, something like that. It's a two-stroke snowmobile. So we set up a time. We go up to this guy's farm up in Canada, and we're talking to them, looking at the parts, and we end up striking a deal on the Skidoo. And then while we're there, I ended up buying a enduro, like a '79 Honda Enduro, and a go kart, just like a regular old go kart. I had like a little Harbor Freight motor on the back of it. It didn't look anything special. So um, on the way back, we stopped at a shop in, I want to say it was in Pennsylvania. It was a Miata shop. We're picking up some parts. That was kind of on our rounds, and I sold the go kart to one of the guys that worked at this Miata shop. So, I think I paid like $80 Canadian for it, and then I sold it here for like 200. So I don't know. I made $120 or whatever, $180, whatever the conversion works out to be. I didn't have to haul it all the way back to North Carolina. It was gone. I was happy. So fast forward about 6 months. Come to find out, that go kart ended up being some kind of ultra rare go kart from some like Italian go kart manufacturer, that it has like dual motor mounts on the back so you can run two motors and stuff like that. And one actually sold on Bring a Trailer, and now it was restored condition, so absolutely mint, for like 30 grand.
Wow. For a
Yeah,
go
I
kart.
had no idea.
Dang.
Yeah. So,
Hey, I mean, at least you made some on it.
that, yeah, that's something I definitely missed out on. But you live and learn.
Not as bad as if you'd have left it behind. Like, dang, I could have got that for $80.
I don't,
So,
eighty
like, when
dollars
you went up
Canadian.
there, when you were up there with Canadian, when you were up there in Canada, did you have to pay them with Canadian dollars or did you spend American dollars? Like,
Dude,
do they take that up
yes.
there?
All right, so I'm talking to these guys, and man, they are the most southern, like redneck people I've ever met. And they're up there in Canada. So they, he was like, yeah, we just got back from a hunt, and we're asking him like, well, what are you hunting for? He said coyotes. I said, well, did you get any? He said, no, but we got a rabbit. I was like, oh, you shot a rabbit? He's like, no, we got it. It's in the truck. Like, we walk over to the truck, and they got this wild rabbit just sitting on the seat in the front of the truck. Um, but um, when I was talking to them and we're talking about the deal, I was like, yeah, I'll give you $200 Canadian or American. They're like, no, I want $200 Canadian. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's fine. I'll just go to an ATM or whatever. I'll find Canadian money, and I'll pay you less for your stuff than what I'm offering. If you did the exchange, it was like 80 cents on the dollar. So, yeah, I mean, he
So
argued
what's
with
that come
it,
out to
and he
two?
got exactly what he wanted, which was less.
So what's that come out to? He'd got 240 Canadian.
Yeah, um, if he would have exchanged it, it would have been like 240, 250. Um, if he would have deposited the US dollars into his account.
Dang.
But
So y'all just went up there and drove around hoping to find deals?
yeah. Oh yeah, we had one stop in um I want to, it was near Toronto, but it wasn't Toronto. It was kind of outside of Toronto. So there was a shop up there. They needed a part, and we were just happened to be on that side of town. So while we're up there, I'm on Marketplace, dude. I'm dropping pins on whatever area we're in, and I'm looking for parts, looking for deals. And so we ended up buying the um the parts from the Canadian Hicks. Like, we get up there and it reeks like reefer. They got a wild rabbit in the truck. They got a freaking the ultra rare go kart just chilling. They don't care about. Um, when we left there, this is definitely an odd one. We went to get some Raptor 660 parts. Come to find out, the people were Amish garlic farmers. Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about farming, but that's what they did. They
What
had raptor
what do they
parts
got a
to,
raptor for?
I don't know. It was kind of strange. Um, so that's definitely an odd one. And we're talking to this guy, um, and he was still at work, but he kind of did farming, nights and weekends at the lot next to him. They grew garlic and they sold garlic. Um, so we end up I ended up getting a handful of carburetors and CDI boxes, just like some random stuff. He had a Raptor and ended up selling it at one point, and it was just kind of sitting around in the shed. So the deal I think was $150 for the parts Canadian, but all I had was 20s. So I give him $160. I'm like, but since I don't have exact change and you don't have change, how about $10 in garlic? He's like, what do you mean? I said, well, I'll pay you 160. It's more than your asking price. Let me get $10 worth of garlic. I've never had freaking homegrown garlic from Canada. So yeah,
Was it
we did
better?
it. It tastes like garlic. The
Yeah,
garlic we get at the store probably comes from them. Who knows?
that is crazy, man. I've never thought to try to bargain something like that in.
Yeah,
I
why
tell you
not?
what, earlier you mentioned the couches thing, and I was telling my wife earlier, like maybe last week, because I clicked on something that was free. I've been trying to, oh, it's because I've been trying to find some of those, those fence panels, so I could finish out my office, and I want to be able to use the like weathered looking wood.
Yeah,
So my marketplace has been showing me a lot of free stuff too lately. And I noticed in there's an area. It's about 2.5 hours from me, but it's outside of the DFW Metroplex. It's Frisco. It's a very wealthy area. The Dallas Cowboys got their big stadium there. It's super fancy. I've been inside it. It's nice, and the whole like everywhere out there. It's you probably can't even score a house for less than a half mil. I might be wrong on that, but I
right.
have started to see so much free stuff. If I was just like out there in that area, I could just go around picking up free stuff. This house, they were giving away both couches, TV stands, and like nice furniture, real nice furniture. It was even with my 20-foot trailer, that was not enough space.
Yeah,
That's how much stuff it was for free. And it's just like retail value on all that. Like if you just took it home and sold it fast for a quick sale, it had to be 2,500, 3 grand that you could probably flip in a day.
yeah,
Like if you were on marketplace near a city, hell, you don't even need to own a truck. You just be near a U-Haul, rent a U-Haul truck. Well, it's kind of
for
hard to
sure.
do sometimes when it's last minute, but
Yeah,
easy
where
money to
there's
be
a
had.
will, there's a way. If you
That's
want to,
true.
if you want to make it, you got to hustle. You got to get after it, and you got to stop what you're doing and go right now. Otherwise, somebody else is going to beat you to it.
That's this razor. My wife found it. It had been posted for 2 minutes, and
Wow,
she sent it to me. Bam, bam. And by the 10-minute mark, I had the lady. She had marked it pending for me, but she had told me when I was there picking it up that there was more than one person had messaged her and said it was so rough that they would haul it off for free. It's not worth any money. And
wow,
keep in mind, I picked this up yesterday. I drove this morning. I did
yeah,
happen to have a couple parts on hand, but um, it's crazy with marketplace. You got to be the first one to go. The CF Moto back there, same thing. It had been posted for a few minutes, and I was
yeah,
like, "Hey, I can head that way now."
yeah. You got to because you just like you said, you got all these bottom feeders out there, just like I'll come get it, but I'll give you like I'll just haul it for free.
Yeah.
Just acting like they're doing you a favor. And then you got the other bottom feeders like I'll give you $100, whatever.
The
So you
ones
gotta you gotta be on it.
The ones that like I that stuff, it is what it is. Those people are out there. But the people who try
Yeah,
to tell you that it's for something else, there's a handful of people who I know of. I'm not gonna name any names. They're local. They'll text. I've had one dude who I knew was a flipper. He buys these things to resell them. Message from another account, and I only know it's like just because of the pictures he used, because these people use the
Yeah.
same damn pictures. And he's like, "Hey, I'll give you 700 if you could help me out. I really need a hunting quad for this year." And it's like, dude, come on, you're really gonna try that angle? Like,
Yeah.
I really need this. And the sad part is, when I was doing parts, every time somebody had some story about, hey, I'm a single mom, this is all I got. I got burned every single time. There's one, this person down in Florida, they took and they bought a part from me. She's like, hey, I'm a single mom. Can you do this? I'm buying it for my son for Christmas. And I'm like, man, I'd love to help somebody get riding for Christmas. Like, but I still have to turn a profit on this bike to keep me
Hmm.
in business. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it doesn't go very well. So I sell this.
Yeah.
It
It's
was an
not
inner clutch
sustainable.
cover. Inner clutch cover for I want to say it was an '03 KX 250. They were they were 1 year models with those. So '03 was very specific. Most of the stuff only fit '03. And a couple days later, I get a message. Hey, this is not to mention, I think I told her I would do $80. She sends me an offer of 75, and I sent back an offer of 80. And she's like, "You're really gonna lose this sale over $5?" And I should have known at that point. Should have
Yeah.
known at that point. I'm already dropping this down from like $140 to 80.
Yeah.
Like I should have known. She gets the part in. I don't know what exactly they did to right there where the power valve goes in. It looks like they tried to drill it or something, or put the wrong screw in it. That was completely destroyed. And she claimed that I sent it broken, but the where the kickstart goes in, there's the clutch cover, that extrusion, because it, like, you have the outer clutch cover on those. You could
Right.
tell that the a bolt from the kicker had hit it. And basically, they put it on, tried to make it work because that was the cheapest one they could get a hold of. They
Yeah.
destroyed it, sent it back, and I took an L. So like now, like I feel bad, but like I'd love to help people out, but from my personal experience, every time somebody's like, it's for the church. I got burned by some dude who claimed it was for the church or something like that. I remember his name. It was Hunting in the Gospel. He burned me on a
Yeah.
Polaris Sportsman 700 bottom end. Bad. He destroyed it. So
Dang.
like sob stories, I don't do
Yeah.
them anymore.
Yeah, I we get that. We get that all the time, almost every single day, through Facebook and through the eBay store. People want a deal, they want this or that. And what I've found over the years is that the more you work with people that want to get a deal, the more you're just inviting chaos into your organization. Um, there's um, there's a famous YouTube personality, business personality. He says the the more or the less a person pays, the more problems they cause, and he's
That's
absolutely right.
that's a
The
fact.
people that are trying to beat you down from $140 to 75, they're just going to cause problems. And I've run into that so many times now. I want to help people out, but I I have to operate in a way that's sustainable. That way I can continue helping everybody out by offering parts, not just the one person here and there that ends up costing us in the long run.
That's couldn't said better myself. That's exactly, and never fails. I can't tell you, we probably get a bunch of messages now that I'm buying and just reselling and not really doing eBay like I used to. Like I can't tell you how many people want me to donate something. Like just donate a whole bike
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
whatever cause it is. And honestly, I don't necessarily believe that's ever what it is. Like,
Yeah.
because like there was one that I remember he reached out to me on more than one thing, and it was veterans for something something. I could find nothing on Google, and like there was nothing out there. There wasn't even like veterans 4-wheeler mashup anything anywhere. And I
Right.
was like, this dude's just using this. And I imagine if you told someone who was like a legit veteran on, they would probably be pretty pissed about people doing stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Now,
People.
marketplace, you just got to be cold and heartless, you know. And I notice a lot of people get mad about the is it still availables and the, everybody's messaging me, but nobody's serious. But just that's just marketplace. Craigslist
Yeah,
was better, hands down.
right. Yeah, you have to go through extra steps to actually contact people. Yeah, you have to give up your email, even if it reroutes it through the Craigslist thing. It's extra steps that people have to take. So each
Mhm.
step is an ounce of it's an ounce of commitment. If you take 10, 20 seconds to send to open up the email and transfer the app and type it out like, hey, ask if this is still a thing, that's an ounce of commitment versus on marketplace. You just slap that, is it still available? You close it down and you've already forgotten about it.
Yeah, and what is it like? I posted some stuff to Craigslist recently, and would you believe they still have the scammers on there?
I
The
believe it.
same the same ones that were like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Hey, I'm an Egyptian prince and I've got $900 billion. I just need your checking account. Yeah, get out of
Kindly
here,
would
dude.
you kindly would you
Yeah,
reach
kindly.
out to me by this email?
Yeah,
Like I'm like,
yeah,
why do y'all use that? Like I've never ever heard
yeah,
anybody actually American say that.
yeah. Americans don't say that.
Uh,
It's a dead giveaway. Hey, oh, I need your Amazon gift cards. I'm an Egyptian prince.
it's no joke, guys. It's wild. Some of the scams. One of the big ones they've got going on lately, and I've gotten a couple of them through Marketplace, where they're sending saying, "Hey, I'd like to buy this vehicle," and everything sounds legit. And then they're like, "Hey, but before I make this trip out there, I'd like, can you, do a VIN report for me?" Sure. And they send you a link, right, for you to do a VIN report, and you pay for it. So they've got zero interest in buying said
Yeah,
car, but if they could get, a couple hundred people a day to pay whatever it was, I think it was 25 or 35 bucks.
yeah.
It's just wild. Like, and Facebook,
So
they don't care about the scams.
no, no, no. They don't care. It's so bad there that they could actually, I think, be considered partially guilty or an accessory because they allow it to go on their platform.
Possibly, but man, trying to fight Facebook
Oh
over a
yeah, they're
$25 charge, nobody's.
yeah,
And like any lawyer that would just do something like, oh well, we're going to take them down, they're probably smart enough not to run through that. If
oh yeah, for
Carfax,
sure.
sure, you want to see the Carfax for something, but if it's a $2,000 car,
Yeah, exactly. Ain't nobody running Carfax on a $2,000 car. Yeah, the description needs to say two things: beats walking. That's it.
yes, yes. That whenever I went out to buy me another truck, I did end up buying a thing where I could run X amount of VINs. I think it was like 10. But
Yeah,
for me, it was just wanting to provide mileage, and it worked out because one of the cars that I was looking at, it was a 11 or 12 F-150 King Ranch EcoBoost. The gauge said 200,000 miles. The report said 450.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
like
old
that was a big
switcheroo.
gap, and I'm like, hey man, so what's the deal with this here? He's like, oh yeah. The dude was lying to me regardless because I asked him straight up before I left my
Yeah,
house. I was standing right here where I am right now. And I said, hey man, at cold start, does this EcoBoost rattle? Does it have the rattle? He's like, it makes no sounds whatsoever. Now, I've owned a few EcoBoosts. They all rattle at startup. So I figured he was probably lying to me about that. But I was willing to live with it because it was 5 grand for a cleaned up, great condition version. And it's 11 grand. So I figured I was getting me a good deal. I get there, dude. That thing was clack 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 clack. The cam phasers were completely shot. I've owned a bunch of them. I've had them where they'll do it at every startup. They'll do it for 20 seconds at startup, which is like those are real bad phasers. But I've
yeah.
never had one where you start it and it just the whole time. We took it for a drive, and he's like, "It's never made that noise. Never made that noise." And I'm like, "I don't believe you one bit. I don't believe you one bit." Lo and
Yep.
behold, like I ended up passing on the truck. I kind of wish I wouldn't have because he came down to 2 grand, but I wasn't sure that I could drive it all the way back to Oklahoma from where it was outside of Canton. I forget what city it was. Outside of Canton,
Gotcha.
Texas,
Yeah.
about 3 hours from here.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 grand's not bad, but you're looking at 2 grand in parts just to fix that.
Well, that was the thing. If it could be fixed from that point, yes. The chance that the motor was going to grenade on the way home was high.
Yeah.
Those the cab has to come off for those eco boosts.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's a lovely feature.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, I guess it's a thing with a lot of newer trucks. The cabs all have to come off of them. They're just like a new thing. Like the diesels, I know the diesels, they all pretty much
Yeah.
on the newer ones. The eco boosts, I'm drawing a blank on the rest of them, but most of them they're making them to where like you want it to be easy, the cab has to come off. Supposedly that's easy to do if you've got something to lift the cab off with.
Right.
I Hey, you
Yeah.
live and learn. You live and learn. It's kind of like the truck I got now. I definitely overpaid for that. The dude, I kept missing out on deals. Marketplace, you know how that goes. You miss out on a deal, miss out on a deal, miss out on a deal. And then like I've jumped and ended up with this truck, and I was like, dang. Now it's like every time I take it out, something else breaks.
Dang.
Is what it is. Paid too much for it. That's probably the one thing I feel like I paid too much for in the last 2 or 3 years. Like outside of that, dude, I'm pretty good at not paying too much for these units. I got to where I got burned so many times on Marketplace. I trust no one, and I always talk it down because if you paid 150, $200 less, it makes you feel a lot better when you find out that it's got all sorts of
Yep.
other issues.
It's never what they say it is. It doesn't even matter if you tell them you don't care. I've told people, I'm like, look, I don't even care what's wrong with it. I'm gonna part it out anyway. I'm gonna take it all the way down, every single nut and bolt. I'm gonna throw all the bolts in the trash, and I'm gonna throw everything in the trash that's broken or scrap it, and I'm gonna sell the rest. So if you know anything that's wrong with it, just let me know. And they won't even do it. They just
It's
won't.
the wildest. When I was doing parts, I thought the same thing. Like, look, dude, I really don't care. Like, if I know this is wrong with it, then I know that I'm not banking on pulling that part out and making money on it.
Yep.
Like, it's $100 4-wheeler. I'm buying it either way. So you could just be upfront with me and save me some time.
Yep.
But no, no, and I don't feel like everybody lies on Marketplace. This Razor, that was a good one. That CF Moto, that dude told me he had owned that for years. I thought 4-wheel drive didn't work. Turns out, I didn't know how to put it in my 4-wheel drive. He was out there banging it off the rev limiter, trying to get it in 4-wheel drive. And if I'd owned something for years, if I owned something for a week, I know how to use it.
Yeah.
No, lo and behold, he did not have any idea how to use the 4-wheel drive. He's like, see, he pulls back up with it after he'd been gone for 5 minutes out there in the field, just banging it off the rev limiter, like slamming it in gear, taking it out of gear, and I was like, ugh.
Dang,
And
right in front of a prospect too.
yeah, and I was like, man, and these clutches are rattling bad. Like it sounded like it was the clutch. Turned out it was the exhaust heat shield.
Yeah, it
Because
worked
when I
out.
took, yeah, it worked out. When I took the clutch cover off, and I'm like, these clutches look fine. He told me they were brand new. They were not brand new. Those clutches, they had a couple thousand miles on them, and turns out it was just the exhaust heat shield rattling. The way it was rattling was perfect in tune with the revving it up, perfectly in tune, and it sounded like it was coming from the left side right there. It didn't sound like it was coming from the front, didn't sound like it was kind of coming from the left. Just straight up, it sounded like it was coming from the clutches. But $700 runs, drives, 4-wheel drive, EPS, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I, nah,
Not bad. Go
not
through it,
bad at all.
fix what you have to, and slap a for sale sign on it.
Yep, it's already done. It's up for sale. The CF Moto markets, I'm not a big fan of them. If I send that through auction, it'll probably bring a lot more than if I sold it local.
Yeah.
But man,
Gotcha.
we're getting to wrap this thing up. It's nice to have you on here, Nate. If anybody needs parts, be sure to reach out to Brutal Parts. You go to their website, brutalparts.com. It'll take you directly to eBay. Depending on when you see this, if it's a few months in the future, the new website may be live and be good to go. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for coming on, Nate.
All right. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro.